This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 6th day of March in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Now here's what we're tracking tonight. Guyana has filed a request with the International Court of Justice seeking provisional measures to block Venezuela from moving ahead with its plans to host elections for a governor of Guyana's Essequibo region. In a statement this morning, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that the Essequibo region remains an integral part of Guyana's national territory, and Venezuela purported to annex the region in violation of the International Court's order of the 1st of December 2023 and fundamental norms of international law. Guyana informed the court that the planned Venezuelan elections are scheduled to take place on the 25th of May 2025 and would inevitably be preceded by preparatory acts, including acts within Guyana's Essequibo region, affecting the Guyanese population and Guyana's sovereignty over its territory. In order to preserve its rights, Guyana is requesting that the court orders Venezuela to refrain from any acts within or affecting its sovereign territory, including the Essequibo region. This is the second time that Guyana has sought provisional measures from the International Court. Guyana's first request resulted in the court's order of December 1, 2023, in which it ordered, pending a final decision in the case, that Venezuela shall refrain from taking any action which would modify the situation that currently prevails in the territory in dispute, whereby Guyana administers and exercises control over the area. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Guyana considers Venezuela's plan to hold elections in Essequibo flagrantly violates the court's order, and Guyana's current request seeks confirmation of the court as well as an explicit directive to refrain from any electoral activities within or affecting Essequibo or its population, which consists of Guyanese nationals. Guyana further requested the court to convene hearings on its request as soon as possible to enable such provisional measures as might be indicated by the court to be issued before serious and irremediable prejudice to Guyana's rights occurs. This week, Guyana filed a protest with Venezuela over the incursion by a Venezuelan naval vessel into Guyana's waters and its aggression towards all ships operating within Guyana's waters. Guyana has also informed the international community of the latest acts from Venezuela. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Citizens, please be reminded that the Ministry of Housing and Water does not sell land or housing units through any third-party arrangements or accept payments through any mobile money platforms. All our allocations are done at our Brickdam Georgetown main office, any of our regional offices, or at any scheduled Dream Realized event. A message from the Ministry of Housing and Water, Central Housing and Planning Authority.
Mobil Delvac Heavy Duty Lubricants. With more than 90 years of experience and innovation, Mobil Delvac is a recognized leader in advanced heavy-duty lubricants. Discover how the state-of-the-art Mobil Delvac technology can help protect and extend the life of your diesel engines. Mobil Delvac, the trusted brand for many successful businesses. Protect your fleet and keep your vehicles on the road and out of the shop. Helped by Mobil Motor Oils. Distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
Welcome back. Let's tell you now that the interlocutor of the Argyle Declaration that was reached between Venezuela and Guyana, Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, foresees ongoing tensions over the Essequibo region, even after the International Court of Justice delivers its judgment in the case currently before it. Speaking on his weekly radio program on Wednesday in St. Vincent, Dr. Gonsalves told listeners that whichever way the ICJ judgment goes, he still believes there will be tensions. Last weekend, Guyana alerted CARICOM and the international community to the presence of a Venezuelan naval vessel that was near the oil assets in Guyana's waters. Since then, the US, France, CARICOM, the Commonwealth, and the Organization of American States have all called on Venezuela to not engage in further provocation. Dr. Gonsalves said it is clear that the oil ships are operating within Guyana's territory.
These are undoubtedly under Guyana's jurisdiction because that's for the purpose of the oil. Taking the oil out from below the seabed. And immediately the Argyle Declaration had to be activated.
Prime Minister Gonsalves also said a meeting has to be set up again with stakeholders to ensure that there is not another repetition of the incursion. He said while persons are casting doubt on the purpose of the Argyle Declaration, it is his view that the declaration is preventing tensions from escalating, although Venezuela has been accused on a number of occasions of flouting that same declaration.
A number of persons took the Argyle Declaration for a joke. The Argyle Declaration and the mechanisms therein have assisted in keeping the peace and lessening tensions. I am privy to letters and statements made of a very harsh kind by one side or another, and they'd be sent to me, and I will pass them on to the other side, and I will have communications myself and interface with CARICOM.
Guyana and Venezuela are before the International Court of Justice concerning the arbitral award of 1899, with the ICJ warning Caracas against the annexation of Essequibo. Following last week's incursions, Guyana has approached the ICJ again, seeking several provisional orders, among them an order to stop a planned election by Venezuela to elect a governor of Guyana's Essequibo. Well, Vice President Jagdeo took aim today at the Mohameds family, making it clear that the government of Guyana will not jeopardize the country's financial system to appease the Guyanese business magnate Nazar Mohamed and his son, who were both sanctioned by the US government last year. On Tuesday, Mr. Nazar Mohamed said the effects of the US sanctions are being felt across the family's local operations in the oil and gas sector, the gold mining sector, the quarry, maritime and construction industries, in addition to the family's cameo business. He said while the family understands that US companies had no choice but to cease operations with the family and their companies, he believes it is a breach of the family's constitutional right as citizens of Guyana to be locked out of business in their own country over those US sanctions. The government has cancelled and refused to renew a number of business licenses for the family. At the Freedom House press conference today, Vice President Jagdeo fired back at the Mohameds over their claims of being targeted by the government.
Now, clearly, this Mr. Mohamed believes that, falsely so, that the PPP out of some perceived loyalty to him and Azruddin Mohammed will put at risk the future and the interests of all the people of this country for them, because somehow, somewhere in the past, he played marble with Chadi Jagan. So we are never going to put, coming back to the core point, we're never going to put the interests of a single individual, particularly if you're accused of doing something so illegal that you bring sanctions of the United States government down on your own head. We must put the country at risk.
Mr. Jagdeo said the country's financial system could have been severely affected or even crash if the Mohameds Cambio license was not suspended.
We could shut down the entire financial system if the Mohammeds had continued owning a Cambio license. The banks all cut ties. Just imagine our banks, if they were continue allowing the Mohammeds to have an account or do business with them, they could be subjected to U.S. sanctions.
And he further explained that Guyanese banks could have lost correspondent banking for continuing to do business with the Mohammeds, and the effects would have been far-reaching. Mr. Jagdeo said the government cannot do business with the Mohammeds, while explaining further that such a move would expose the country to U.S. sanctions. Nazar Mohammed has said to his knowledge, no one associated with his son Azruddin Mohammed or the family has been sanctioned or have had their U.S. visa revoked because of their association with the family. But the vice president maintains that due to their association with Azruddin Mohammed, a number of persons have had their visas revoked.
But it's a gross misrepresentation to claim, as he did, that it's only American companies that could face sanctions if they associate with the Mohammeds. It not only misrepresents it, but the facts are so evident because they are in the release issued by the United States government when he was sanctioned.
In announcing the sanctions last year, the U.S. Treasury Department warned that financial institutions and other persons that engage in certain transactions or activities with the sanctioned entities and individuals may expose themselves to sanctions or be subject to an enforcement action. Jagdeo said if Nazar Mohammed has information about gold smuggling, he should present the evidence to the U.S. government and the government of Guyana. Mr. Mohammed contested the last local government elections as a candidate for the governing People's Progressive Party Civic. His family has also admitted to providing support to the PP Civic over the years. Nazar Mohammed and his son Azruddin Mohammed and their companies were all sanctioned by the U.S. government over claims of money laundering on the declaration of gold, bribery payments, and tax dodging. A permanent secretary who is also former PP Civic executive member, May Thomas, was also sanctioned by the U.S. government in relation to some of the same claims against the Mohammeds. She has been placed on administrative leave by the governments of Guyana.
so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Ready to up your game? Ready to up your game? Win big with over 60 epic prizes. A brand new PS5, Nintendo Switch, iPhone 16 Pro Max, Apple smartwatch, and the hottest earbuds from Apple and Samsung. Plus, we are giving away thousands in phone credit and a whole year supply of Buster or Turbo Energy drink. Here's how. Buy any Buster or Turbo Energy drink, find the code starting with BB and enter online or on WhatsApp. Visit us on Facebook or Instagram at Turbo_Caribbean or Buster Guyana for all the details. Don't just play. Up your game with Buster and Turbo Energy.
Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben today challenged the Guyana Prison Service to rehabilitate its prisoners as the country continues to battle transnational crimes. In his address at the Guyana Prison Service Senior Officers Conference this morning, Minister Ben said there are people in prison who remain very invested in criminal activities, and the prison service must do more to reform them.
It befalls to the prison system in these difficult circumstances with transnational organized crime to rehabilitate those persons.
He said while some prisoners have committed to turning their lives around, with a number of them pursuing higher education, others remain bent on living a life of crime.
Men are the problem, and men we have to work on. And you have the job to rehabilitate those 2,200 men who are in the prisons. Some perhaps can never be changed, but I take the position that their experiences in life, issues of poverty, issues of maltreatment, issues of self-denial and self-demeaning, and all of those things which we have in our society are important issues which we have to tackle from the perspective of knowledge, self-awareness, awareness of the country and the culture and the history.
Minister Ben said the prison service has in place a Fresh Start initiative, but the turnout rate remains low. For its part, he said the government continues to provide the necessary finance to improve the prison system, but also to address the issues confronting Guyanese. Meanwhile, Director of the Guyana Prison Service, Nicolon Elliott, said the prison services continue to play a pivotal role in Guyana's security architecture by providing rehabilitation opportunities to offenders and public security, which remains critical to national development. He said last year was a transformative year for the prison service, as it underwent a number of development changes, in keeping with the government's vision for reform.
Key achievements made for 2024 includes the modernization of prison facilities, which included the completion of Marjorie Phase 2, the completion of 5 structures at Lusiknan, and 1 additional structure which is at 98% complete. The completion of senior and junior officers accommodation at Lusiknan, and the upgrading of staff accommodation at Marjorie and New Amsterdam respectively.
The prison director also said the construction of a new female prison at Lusiknan commenced in 2024 along with other projects. In the area of education and training, the director of prisons said in 2024 820 prisoners were exposed to various training opportunities. However, he said the number of prisoners trained fell below target due to a number of security challenges. While the Guyana government has decided to go to arbitration to resolve a multi-million-dollar dispute with the company constructing the gas-to-energy project at Wales, the contractor Linsaka CH4 had moved to a dispute adjudication board after it could not resolve a stalemate with the government of Guyana over the sum of $50 million that the company claimed it is owed because the project site was delivered to it 3 months late. In a statement today, the government of Guyana said both parties have served notice of dissatisfaction against each other, signaling the intention to initiate arbitration. According to the release from the Office of the Prime Minister, the arbitration will be administered by the International Chamber of Commerce, with the venue being Washington, D.C. All decisions in the matter will be confidential. The press release stated that notwithstanding the disputes, both the governments of Guyana and Linsaka CH4 recognize the strategic importance of the project to the Guyanese economy. The contractor has resumed on-site activities, including piling and preparations for foundation work. Construction of a cement batching plant is on the way. Steel for foundation work has been delivered to the site and the man camp is being established, with more than 170 workers currently mobilized. The release also said despite the pending arbitration, both parties remain committed to expediting the power plant and natural gas liquids plant, aiming to ensure the timely relocation of the gas and steam turbines, which are already in Guyana, to the Wales site. The government said its priority continues to be to ensure that the project is completed in the shortest possible time, and in keeping with contractual specifications, with a view to bringing the power plant and the NGL plant into operation and delivering the associated benefits to the Guyanese people as soon as possible. The gas energy project is divided into three components: pipeline, the power NGL plant, and transmission line and substations. Officials of the government met and held discussions yesterday with officials from KLM Airlines as the company gets set to begin its scheduled operations in Guyana in the month of June. The KLM team included its regional manager, the country sales manager for Suriname and Guyana, and the sales manager for Aruba, Bonaire, and Curaçao. According to a statement from DPI, the Department of Public Information, the discussions focused on finalizing the framework for the airline's operations locally, including regulatory compliance, infrastructural requirements, and market strategies. Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel welcomed the airline's expansion, highlighting its potential to boost tourism, trade, and economic growth in Guyana. He said he believes it will also provide more travel options for passengers flying between Guyana and Europe. KLM's entry into the Guyanese market will also align with the government's efforts to enhance international connectivity, particularly with Europe. The airline will operate through the Jagdeo International Airport, and with the new service, passengers traveling to and from Guyana will have greater access to the airline's extensive global network, which includes key destinations in Europe, Asia, and the Americas. The new service, along with the recent addition of several international carriers, has significantly improved the country's connectivity, the Department of Public Information said.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. The relatives of murdered Venezuelan barber Orwin Joaquin Mayora have rubbish claims that he was killed when he tried to rob a man who was in St. James on Carnival Tuesday. Instead, they said Mayora and the man who killed him knew each other. Police said Mayora, 30, was liming with others near a bar on the corner of Western Main Road in Trinidad and Tobago when he was shot several times in his head. 2 men, ages 25 and 66, and 2 women, ages 29 and 65, were also injured. They remained at the hospital up to yesterday evening in stable condition. Police were called in and arrested the suspect near the scene and seized a Glock 43 pistol. Western Division Police said, from all accounts, background checks showed the suspect was not a firearms user's license holder. Speaking with Guardian Media at the Forensic Science Center, St. James, yesterday, one of Mayora's relatives said he was employed as a barber. She said he was with his wife at the time of the shooting. The Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP in Jamaica, has conceded that the High Court's failure to credit a convict for time spent in custody is a constitutional breach of one's right to liberty, and that an individual must be credited even if the sentence ends up falling below the mandatory minimum. DPP Paula Llewellyn, in making the concession, said she will also be writing to Parliament with a recommendation that credit for time spent in custody be codified in the statute. The DPP, in her submission before the historic 9-member panel from the Court of Appeal, led by President Marva MacDonald Bishop, also agreed that the High Court would have breached Cecil Moore's constitutional rights. And finally tonight, international news. Pope Francis was well rested and woke up just after 8 hours local time on Wednesday, the Vatican said. The Vatican said the Pope, who has been in hospital since February to receive treatment, spent the night on non-invasive mechanical ventilation and is now back on a high-flow oxygen mask. He is free from fever, always alert, cooperative with therapies, and well-oriented, the Vatican said in a statement. On Tuesday evening, they had said the Pope was stable after suffering 2 episodes of respiratory failure the day before. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Swatlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.